Hello, this is Anthony Zaller, and welcome to Friday's 5. I wanted to talk about five concepts or five issues that come up when people are faced with jury duty and don't want to go, normally, is the reaction. And I just was called for jury duty this week and had to attend for a couple of days. I was actually dismissed eventually by one of the parties in the litigation. It was a criminal case, and don't have to serve. But I wanted to comment about jury duty and jury duty here in California, employers' obligations to allow employees to attend jury duty, and also just a message to listeners and readers of the blog about going to jury duty. So first and foremost, the number one issue I wanted to point out is don't complain about the system and these jury verdicts and these case verdicts if you're not actually going to jury duty. And I hear it all the time from clients about these ridiculous jury verdicts that they read about in the newspapers. Now, one, you're reading about it in the newspaper because it is an anomaly. But two, to fix the system and have your input into it, it's very easy. Just show up to jury duty and do your part. So I recommend everybody that does get the summons to go to jury duty to go. And that leads me to my second point, is that you can actually learn a lot during jury duty. I actually really I've been on two other juries in the past and have really enjoyed the experience. I mean, one is I'm a litigator, so I like to see how other attorneys approach the issue, but it's just interesting, and I think it's even can be interesting for non-lawyers to be on juries as well. So do your part and go. And that also leads me to point number 3. You really owe it to others to be a part of the jury, and to do your service. Leads me to my fourth point, is do your service willingly. Don't approach it like it's a burden, and don't make it obvious to the court that you don't want to be there and it's going to be a burden on you. I mean, it's a burden on everybody that's there, and but the defendant in a criminal case and then both parties in a civil case are relying on you and your input to have their case heard and adjudicated properly. So, and hopefully one day you don't ever need to go through litigation. It's a long and tedious process, but it's there. And if you need to rely on it and go in front of a jury at some point, that you'll have a group of jurors that are willing to hear your case and hear you out. So it's important to keep that in mind. And then fifth and finally, I wanted to wrap up today about employers' obligation to allow jurors to attend jury duty. So it is you're obligated to allow your employees to go to jury duty. You can't discipline them or cause any adverse employment action, take any adverse employment action against them if they go to jury duty. But private employers in California do not have to pay employees for the time off for jury duty. And like I said, that was one of the major complaints with most of the other people that were being selected to be on the jury with me this week, was the financial issues it was creating for a lot of self-employed people as well. It's a burden. It's a burden for everybody, but it's part of our duty, and it's what makes our system work. And I really recommend that people do participate and and take the experience for what it is and learn what you can. And for the most part too, I don't know if anybody's been to court, but the court system, the jury's probably not called in until about 9:30 or 10 every day. You've got an hour and a half lunch every day, and you're done by about 4 or 4:30 every day. So if you're motivated, it's pretty easy to put in a half day's work outside of being on the jury as well. Don't get me wrong, it's a burden. It's going to cause some problems and inconveniences, but again, it's part of our duty. So with that, today's Friday 5. Hopefully you guys are staying kind of dry in this crazy California weather this winter. But if you have any questions or comments or want to see any other posts on the blog, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a good weekend. See ya.